Welcome to World War II Chronicles, a weekly tribute to America's fighting men and women in commemoration of the Second World War. These programs are narrated by Ed Herlihy and are based on the news broadcasts of the war period from the recorded sound collection of the National Archives in Washington, D.C.
By the spring of 1943, Adolf Hitler failed to comprehend Germany's inability to match the Soviets in replacing men and material. Instead, he planned an offensive to destroy a Soviet bulge in the German lines around a town called Kursk. The offensive was delayed several times, and many German commanders feared that the Soviets had learned of their plans.
The expected German offensive in Russia is still postponed. It looks as though the two great armies in the east will continue to feel each other out for another round.
The lull on the Russian front has ended. Moscow announced just an hour ago that the Germans have begun a heavy offensive in the south-central sector and that violent fighting has been in progress since early morning.
The attack launched by the Germans on July 5, 1943, became the largest tank battle in history, with well over 5,000 armored vehicles participating.
The belated German offensive in Russia has gotten off to the worst start of any German attack of this war. Aimed primarily at recovering the Kursk salient that the Red Army drove last winter, huge German tank forces have failed to register any large gains. Moreover, according to Soviet communiques, the Germans have sustained the heaviest tank losses of this war.
Even while the vicious battle of attrition was taking place at Kursk, the Red Army went on the offensive.
The war in Russia enters its third year, with Soviet armies pounding the Nazis from the Black Sea to the Baltic.
On July 12th, the Soviets attacked north of Kursk at Orel. Another attack was launched to the south at Kharkov.
The Soviet High Command, in a special communique, announces that the Red Army is smashing into the German-held Orel sector from the north and east. It's the first Red summer offensive since the war began. In Russia, the Red Army continues to throw strength around the city of Kharkov. It's a pretty safe bet to make right now that the metropolis, or what's left of it, will fall within a week. The retreating Germans are now said to be abandoning their equipment in great quantities in order to get out of the way of the advancing Russian armies.
The losses suffered by the Germans were irreplaceable. From the end of July 1943 onward, the Eastern European campaign became a succession of defeats for Germany. I'm Ed Herlihy. Join me next time for World War II Chronicles.
World War II Chronicles was produced by the American Veterans Center and Radio America in cooperation with the National Archives. To listen to more episodes, subscribe on iTunes or visit AmericanVeteransCenter.org. We need your help to keep the legacy of our World War II generation alive. Visit AmericanVeteransCenter.org to make a donation to support World War II Chronicles and the ongoing work of the American Veterans Center.